Welcome to Baka-Talk. I'm Wheeze. We have a jam-packed episode with a bunch of exciting things to talk about. But first, we have Anime Corner with Wheeze, or whatever the heck we're talking about. With me, as always, is Ramen Cat.
I would like to acknowledge the fact that you put jam on everything.
And Boom.
Jam does go with everything.
But it's all over your apartment, Boom.
We won't talk about that.
Jam goes
aspect.
great on the anime.
I had to fix my TV somehow.
That's not how you fix it.
Well, the peanut butter didn't work.
True.
Peanut butter, no.
That's just fake.
Just jam.
Why are you so fake, Wheeze?
Because
Just jam.
his full name is Plastic Wheeze.
All right, so you said anime corner. So what do we got to talk about for anime?
For anime, we've got to talk about... Do you have any anime things to talk about?
I got some.
What have you watched recently?
Half an episode of Murder Farce.
Nice. What about you, Ramen Cat? Have you watched any anime?
I
Last 2 weeks?
watched the last episode of Zom 100.
The most recent one that
Most
came out
recent.
that I haven't seen?
Yeah.
You haven't seen it yet either?
I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
What?
so see, we can't talk about it. So that automatically
I was
makes me
looking
upset.
forward to both
Rip.
of you talking about it.
That's
But
too bad. We'll talk about it next week. But
Yeah.
there is something interesting to talk about Zom that isn't the episode specifically. It's the release schedule, which has had everyone freaking out.
I haven't because I haven't known about it.
So Zom 100 has been delayed like a couple times so far.
twice now.
Okay, I know of once.
That's why it's on episode 5 and every other show is on episode like 9 or something.
Oh, okay.
So
Yep.
nobody really knows the reason for it, and a bunch of people are speculating. They're like, well, the development of this is all screwed up and whatever.
Is it a literal zombie apocalypse happening in Tokyo?
Maybe. And the animators are like, gotta draw faster. But
What a life objective in zombie apocalypse: defeat Mappa.
so some people I've just noticed a little bit on like Twitter, people are complaining or talking about it or
That's
whatever.
all Twitter people
Which-
do.
yeah,
You
But
mean
there's some
X?
yes, the platform formerly known as
Okay,
Twitter.
when I
Please
type
get it
in
right.
Twitter, though, it still pulls up X, so it's still
It is.
Twitter.
See, twitter.com.
That's because they can't get
Oh,
the...
no, it went anime title. It was Twitter. Now it's Twitter X.
that
No, it
That
doesn't.
And then it will be
Actually-
Twitter XRE.
he
Oh,
should just
God.
call it Twitter X. That sounds way
That
more
actually
cool than
does
just
sound
X.
sick.
Twix, if it wasn't
Twix.
copyrighted.
Oh, Twitter X. Instead of Twitter Blue, it should just be Twitter X.
I'd
That's
love
like
that.
your
I'd actually
thing.
maybe
But-
pay for that.
And then you get like a cool X next to your name.
Like, it's just like anime title: Twitter Blue, Twitter X.
Twitter's already blue. Why-
Next could be
just make
Twitter Evolved. Like, I don't know. We're doing
It's a bird.
show title.
oh,
Bird
then
turning
it's
into a dinosaur or
it's
something.
Twitter Super XYXZ
Yeah. Mega.
Mega
Mega.
Fusion
Fusion.
And everything you can pay for these
Hero.
things.
Hero.
And they all just slightly alter the Twitter bird icon, and that's all it does.
End goal, it's just blonde, spiky, and glowing.
You
So,
were- okay.
Anyways,
wow,
but
that
there was
was
some
quite
like
a...
big creators and stuff that were talking about it. It was like
I think we picked up audio of a demon.
I don't know what that was.
Something was moving.
So some people on Twitter were complaining about this. I hope this makes sense in relation to the last thing I said because we paused it. But anyways, they were complaining about the release schedule of the show and speculating that there were things wrong with the show and production and stuff, which for one doesn't really make any sense to me because I don't think they are like currently working on it. Like don't they finish it
That was
and
my
then
understanding.
release it?
I thought they created the
That would
entire
be-
season and that basically they just scheduled it.
That would be
Yeah.
impossible to do as much production as there is in animation and get it done in a week.
Yeah, like do they have it like somewhat partially not finished the week before they release it? Like that doesn't seem real.
Like I get a show like One Piece because aren't they like always in production?
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. But even still, I think they're like
It's-
episodes ahead.
It's
They're a whole
super
season
far ahead. So the only things that they would have is like small
editing? pretty
final editing like tweaks and stuff.
right.
Like,
Maybe somebody reviewed the episode and found out something wasn't.
yeah,
made.
it doesn't make any sense. Also, they wouldn't like the first episode is really polished. It looks amazing, and
Yeah.
all the episodes have looked great. It's not like it's not like you would make these episodes look that good and then like not have the other ones like even just partially finished or kind of like scrapped together. That's just not, it's not how animation works. It's really weird. I don't know what people are talking about, but it is been delayed a lot, and the last couple episodes don't even have a release date. Like they haven't been scheduled. They're just
That's
like
weird.
to be decided. So partially it's a lot of times scheduling conflicts, because if an anime has a certain air date and then there's like some big soccer match going on that day or something,
that'll get delayed.
it'll get delayed a week. And so that stuff's normal. But the last episode's being to be decided is weird. It also could just be when it's being put on the block. It could also be that it's a new company, so they didn't get the like prime spots on TV or something. I have no idea.
Could also be licensing, could be finances,
Yeah.
could be maybe people are sick.
But so another thing is that people are complaining like, oh no, this show is going to lose its momentum because it's not coming out weekly or whatever. And
It's a good enough story.
I just
it
don't
doesn't really
care.
need that.
I really don't care when it comes out if it looks good. Like if it wasn't finished and they had to take 3 weeks to put the next episode out and make it look good, I don't think I'd care. I just want it to be good.
It would be a thing of like, oh boy, it's out. It's
Yeah.
it's like a good like animated YouTube series of like there's gaps and it's like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Well, it's like before I started the podcast, and I never watched seasonal anime anyways. So
Mhm.
I think 90% of people, at least in the West,
Yeah.
grew up binging anime shows.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't care when it came out.
Yeah.
Like we just, if we didn't like the show, we'd drop it. If we wanted it to continue.
There's
like,
also a thing of if a show comes out and it doesn't do well initially, but it's a really good show, it'll get recommended a bunch. People will start watching it a bunch, and then it'll get really popular.
Yeah.
Like Vinland Saga didn't do super great when it first came out because it was only on Netflix, or it was only on Amazon Prime,
right.
which nobody watches anime on Amazon Prime. And now it's really popular. And like the second season came out on Crunchyroll and stuff, and it was like somewhat bigger deal. The second season is very different than the first. So
The second season, I felt like it did okay for the Vinland Saga fans.
yeah.
Like it wasn't bad,
Mm-hmm.
but like for growing the audience more, I don't think it did too good.
Probably not, but it is more of a like popular series
Yeah.
because people made YouTube videos on it because it's such a good series and stuff.
Right.
Even though it was like relegated to that. And I feel like Zom 100 is similar. If it starts out and it doesn't do super well because people forget about it after a couple weeks, it's gonna re-get traction once it's finished if it's still this good.
I think just to be the nihilist, I think it's just people can't stand having their fragile, boring little schedules interrupted.
Pretty much, yeah.
They got to do the same thing all the time.
Also, it's weird. I don't like. Why do you care? I don't know. It's really bizarre.
I
when
would just be
people
more
are
like, please don't be going out of business.
yeah. When people are like, oh no, the show has like problems. It's such a mess. The release schedule's terrible. It's like the fact that you care about it, one, just shows how good the show is.
Yeah.
And then if it's that good, like people are still gonna watch it. So
I think it will be fine. It's honestly, so many people have made YouTube shorts, made TikToks,
Yeah.
made YouTube videos about Zom 100 that I think just word of mouth alone is going to carry the show.
it is, yeah.
It's not a bad show at all. So anybody that just sees it on Crunchyroll and randomly picks it up is going to like it.
yeah.
It's not a very opinionated show where some people are going to hate it, some people are going to love it. I
Yeah.
mean, some people are probably going to hate it because it's a zombie.
It's gonna be
But,
your
like-
thing and you're gonna love it, or it's just you're not even gonna start watching it.
Right, yeah. So, I do actually have a bit of news. I thought that was interesting. If we're kind of done talking about this for a second.
Yep, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So, one thing I found, and I thought it was kind of cool. The first Slam Dunk surpasses Ponyo as number 7th all-time anime film in Japan.
Wow.
And as far as I know, the Slam Dunk is coming off a new movie. Is that right?
I have no idea.
I was swore
yeah,
I saw that.
yeah, I think you're right. There is like a slam dunk.
And one
New
thing I didn't
movie.
realize, and I kind of dug into this, I guess basketball is like really big in Japan.
Mhm.
Yeah, basketball and
Baseball.
baseball.
Yeah, I knew baseball because obviously every single anime
Yeah.
I've seen has a baseball
Baseball,
art
yeah.
or something like that. But basketball, I was surprised about. Like,
Yeah, they love sports over there.
Yeah.
But I thought that was kind of interesting that like I get because the first Slam Dunk movie, as far as I know, is I think it's from the 90s.
Yeah,
It's from the
I think
90s.
so.
Ponyo is a newer one, but I'm just surprised that like a film like Ponyo's like pretty like beloved.
Yeah, Ghibli.
Like it's
Movies are
past that
big.
already. It's interesting to see how things change up, but I thought that was
There's
a weird
also
article I
the
found.
new Ghibli movie that came out that's doing really well.
Oh
and they-
yeah,
They
what's it
didn't
called?
market it at all.
How did you live?
Yeah, how did you
Yeah.
live?
The Boy and the Heron.
Yep.
It's got like
Earned
multiple weird-
7.4 billion yen.
so they didn't market this movie at all. There was like nothing out about it. They didn't have a trailer or anything.
I think because isn't that the creator's like
It's-
last movie?
Yeah, it's Miyazaki's last movie.
So I think this was definitely more. Here's the final thing for the fans.
Yeah, and it sounds like the producer, like he was kind of interviewed about it, and it sounds like they're basically Miyazaki is like Walt Disney. Like everybody knows him. He's such a big name. So they were just like, you know what? We don't need. People are gonna watch this. It's gonna be a good movie, and we don't want to spoil anything. You just go into it blind because there's nothing to see about it.
Yeah.
It's kind of really cool to have that much confidence to do that.
Well,
and
why
also that
that's
it's-
why movies should be. I feel
Yeah,
like.
it's also
have a little
working, too.
teaser of like, here's the title or whatever.
Yeah.
Go watch it.
So overall, it has earned right now $15.53 million. That's actual U.S. currency
Mhm.
on a 3-day weekend, which was Friday to Monday, because Japan currently has a marine holiday.
Yeah.
So, like on a 4-day weekend, it's earned in just Japan alone, like I think that's bigger than Spirited Away.
Yeah, I think it is. I think they said
Actually,
it
it
was
showed
one
in
of
the
the highest.
article. It was Spirited Away earned 1.7 million.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's
Well,
kind of
They're
Spirited
big.
Away also was what 90s.
2001, I think.
Oh, 2000. That was also a
2000
different
or
time
2001?
though of like movies didn't make they didn't make this small or the base income of a small nation.
no.
Yeah,
That's true, but
and it
it's
also
just,
hasn't been released in the U.S. or anywhere. I don't think. I think it's only in Japan for
Yeah.
right now. It's coming to U.S. soon.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And that's the last film of Miyazaki. Is that right? Because he's
Yep.
retiring.
That's what he plans on.
Didn't he retire once though
He
already?
did.
And then just like, nope, I got to go back.
Yeah.
I think what happened. I'm totally out of left feeling this, but he retired from like CEO of Ghibli, and then somebody took over. He's like, I don't like you, so he went back. I think he was still making
Yeah.
movies,
Mhm.
but he's just like, I don't want to be like in this.
I think he did
Yeah.
take like a break too for making movies for a while, and then
Maybe.
decided this was like his last like big feature.
I
he
still
wants
want to know
do.
who was behind Earwig,
I have no idea.
and I think they should be fired.
Yep. That's probably what
Maybe-
got him back. He looked
Probably.
at that and was like, no.
Well, I remember seeing like a thing where like his board was like, well, we can use like 3D animation for this and this, and he basically just told the guys to get out.
yeah.
Yeah,
You're replaceable.
I love it. Like, of course, I don't want my boss to ever tell me this, but I just love it when a CEO just comes and is like, "You are replaced."
because you
Because you-
insulted our craft.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like I don't mind when like I'm not a big fan of like CEOs for the most part, but at the same time, I don't mind when they're loyal to what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when it's like, no, we don't do it this way. This is the way that we do it. We don't want to go like you don't want to alter it so much that you can't recognize what it is.
You know what? We should actually when The Boy and His Herring comes to theaters, we should actually make that a thing.
A
We
boy
should-
and his herring.
That's what
That
it's
sounds
called,
like a
right?
great
Herring,
comedy. A boy and his herring. That should be an Adam Sandler movie.
Heron, not herring. I can't speak.
I can't hear. No,
But
we
when,
should, yeah.
when the movie comes out in American theaters, we should go watch it and then do a review about it.
Go
Like,
check out Baka Reviews
I
on
don't
the
think-
Baka-Talk YouTube channel and feed.
Basically, if
Don't
you
ever
scroll down, it's the video below this.
don't ever
Yes.
use that sensual voice we use.
No, that was the like
You'll get us
after-
demonetized.
That was the after editing, like, hey guys, this is I'm editing this.
Basically, he's just like making me look for this really stupid voice so I can just cut it out. Oh, my job's great.
Anyways, I have one more anime thing to talk about.
Shoot.
I started watching BanG Dream. It's
you said
my
shoot.
go.
He said bang.
This is the
This is a
the
band
idol show, right?
that has like Ruby animation.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
yeah.
Ew.
So it's not bad as Ruby. Like it has it's weird. It feels like it's the same kind of motion capture animation. I'm pretty sure it is motion capture from what I've heard. It's the kind of story that feels like it's written and made by like 13-year-old girls on like a YouTube series. So this is like
Oof.
a weird thing, but I was with my girlfriend and her cousin, and when they were younger, they watched this stupid Minecraft drama YouTube series thing. And so I was watching it with them because I was
dear
stuck
God.
with it. And it was called AFMAO was like the creator's name.
I really trying really hard to not go on a rant.
Okay, so the series is actually like it's kind of
I
impressive.
think both me and Ramakat have history with those stupid
It was-
dramas.
Yeah,
It was-
because it's just like Minecraft. Cool. I can make basically games inside of this for my friends. And then these people come along.
So it was actually like it was somewhat impressive because they had whole storylines. They were really like lame, but they were like whole storylines, and there were characters, and it was like this weird role play thing that they wrote up. And so they had all these characters, even like ProZD voiced in it. He was like a character in later seasons. It became like a big production thing. So
I mean,
watching
This is not.
so there is
if
it
you
is
keep
really
in mind, red versus blue was a thing.
it's
too.
not
good.
yeah.
That versus. You know, it's
It's-
not different. Never mind.
it's-
Why am I being like this?
It's not good, but it's kind of impressive, and it's kind of so bad that it's fun to watch because we were making fun of it, which was what makes it fun to watch. But in AFMAO, there's like a scene where they're talking. They all have, it's all really bad drama, like super random bull crap. But like they talk to each other, they look up in the sky, and the subtitle says bell ringing, and there's no bell ringing, and they're just like, time to go to class, and go walk off. They also do the thing where whenever they talk, they just make their heads go crazy because they have no other way to simulate like speaking, so their heads are just going like wild as they're talking, and it's the funniest thing ever. It's such a dumb series. I was forced to watch like the whole first season, and there's like 9 freaking seasons of this show, and it's one of the series and multiple other series. Anyway, so that's the
Someone's got some pent up trauma.
He wants to go kick a YouTuber, I think.
it's really wild, but that was like the high school version. There's also like this fantasy like epic thing that they also did. I don't know how they managed to make this
it's
many
just
series.
Villager News.
Yeah, this is like this
That's
isn't
different.
this
Yeah,
isn't animated.
That was
It's just
comedy.
Minecraft.
Machinima.
Yeah. So anyways, this has the same feel of that, of like this is made by amateurs, which is what the YouTube. It's just a
Yeah.
YouTube series. You don't expect that much from like 10 years ago or something. So this has that same feel, but it's like a way bigger production. Like the animation does not look bad. It's way better than Ruby. Even modern day Ruby looks terrible compared to this. But like
That's not hard to.
I know. But like the animation doesn't look bad. It's a little weird, but you kind of get used to it. But the characters and interactions, they are so freaking serious about this stupid band. And it feels like if they were all married and then broke up and then trying to get married again is like what this the emotional toil of this band is. Where they're just like, will you be in a band with me forever? And it's like this big deal. And it's just the dumbest thing ever. And it's kind of entertaining because of how, like, everyone in it feels completely insane. Like,
That's the world of music.
the one, they're like, they just start a band. They haven't played together once. And the one girl is like, let's like, I already got us set up to do a concert, like a live performance.
Yeah.
And they haven't played together once. So the other girl is like, maybe we should wait and like practice more. And then the like big crux of the matter is like, oh, you're just afraid because you're not that good at guitar. And that was like the thing. And then at the end, they're like, okay, we'll play. And it was like, what the frick is happening? You're all insane. Like the one girl just isn't very good at playing guitar and is nervous. And the other girl is like, let's play a concert when we haven't even played this in this band once. They've never practiced together. They don't even know if each other can do anything. It's kind of a wild series because of just how like you can't comprehend what the thought process of what's going on is.
I'm reading some of the reviews right now, and some of them are weird. One of them, it was labeled a spoiler, but it just says, "Where's Bocce?" Like he was expecting Bocce the Rock. Okay, these reviews look like they're all written by 13-year-old girls. Never mind. Where are the voice actors all super bad? It's like everyone is off somehow.
Oh, the voice actors are like really. I'm watching it in Japanese. I don't even know if there's a dub, but
I'm not purposely yelling this one. This is just how they have it written. Really enjoying not understanding anything. What do I pay for? That's all caps, by the way.
Yeah, it's
so what I'm getting here, I'm putting my psychologist glasses on, is one, you hate this show, but you're a masochist. So you love hurting yourself by watching this show.
It's kind of entertaining. It's way better than I thought it was going to be, because the first episode, half of it was just boring nothingness happening. I was expecting more of that, but it gets into like this weird drama, like about the dumbest thing in the world, and it's kind of fun.
This person agrees with you. Stupid girls and their made-up head drama.
Yes.
It also the first episode only has 36 reviews for Crunchyroll. That's really bad.
It is super
small
series.
Episode 10 has 70 reviews, or 70 comments, I should say. They're not reviews, they're comments. Reviews are different. It's rating at a 4.3.
It must be bigger in Japan because it doesn't look bad.
Japan,
like, the animation
some
isn't
reason
like
does like their 3D animation.
Also, there's like movies of this.
There is
like a bunch of them
for some reason.
It's like a big series, but I don't know. It's kind of wild. Just all the character interactions and everything are just so out of like. It's fun. It's fun bad.
There's BanG Dream Poppin' Dream.
That sounds like a hard narcotic. Doesn't it? Hey, I got a bag of BanG Dream Poppin' Dreams here for you.
Oh, the other thing that's crazy about this series is she has this notebook. It's like a diary, and she's writing down like, I feel like this one girl, she's just super closed off from everyone and like barely talks, and she's kind of one of the main characters that the whole thing is centered around.
So Bocce.
She writes down in her journal like, I'm depressed, I feel really alone, no one ever talks to me. And one of the girls is like the origin of their original band that broke up. She looks at her notebook and is like, these are really great song lyrics. You're such a great lyricist or whatever it is.
Lyricist?
Yeah, I don't know how to...
Songwriter.
And it was like, I saw the words that you spoke. It was just her diary. And so I've been making fun of it the whole time, where it's just like, I tried to kill myself today. I hate the world. I'm going to die. And someone picks it up.
We're going to get copyright struck for a corn song there, Weez.
Someone just looks at it and is like, wow, these are great lyrics. You're such a great songwriter. And then just proceeds to build a band around this person's diary.
Wow.
That's basically what happened.
That's depressing.
That's music industry.
Yeah,
she wasn't that far, but it was just like, I'm so alone, I'm so depressed. And
so
look at it.
overall, what you're saying is you're asking yourself, why do you keep on doing this type of thing to yourself?
No, it's really fun.
I'm going to tell you right now.
You like this.
I like this.
You hate yourself.
Okay, it's really easy to watch because I really don't care about anything that's happening. Most of the time when I watch anime,
why would you watch
I
it?
really pay attention because it's so bad.
Is this your second monitor thing that plays?
No, I'll watch it with my girlfriend when I eat food with her and stuff. It's just
basically second monitor.
It's just entertainingly bad. Where it just because it takes itself seriously.
But so Walking Dead.
Everything is really, really dumb, and it's not for the most part, it hasn't been too sappy. I'm gonna be. There's a few scenes of them being sappy, boring stuff.
I'm just picturing Walking Dead the first season.
I'm depressed, but I can do it anyways. I have friends, kind of stuff. Most of it is just really awkward interactions. The girls fighting about stuff that doesn't make any sense.
Walking Dead.
It's when all the
I don't know where he's getting the Walking Dead references, but
because this is the way I felt exactly about Walking Dead the first season when I tried watching it, and now literally everything he's saying, I'm just picturing the scenes.
It's kind of like Zom 100. Zom 100's really funny because all of the tension is based on them just doing stupid stuff, getting a TV. Yeah. The whole tension of the episode of all the stuff that happened, the people that died, was because they went to a store and wanted a TV. And so it's funny because it's such a dumb problem that they're going after. This is that, except it takes itself way more seriously about its problem and is we need we need to go to a concert without practicing ever in this band. And the other person's we should just practice more. And they just never practice. They just keep arguing about this.
Can they play music?
I don't even know. They haven't done it once.
What?
No.
What episode are you on?
I'm on episode 4 or 5 or something.
And they haven't played music
They haven't played music once.
This is those animes where we're going to go fight the monsters. Don't see them till halfway through the season.
The band broke up. The band is starting to get together with some new members. And they still haven't played music yet.
Not even a little jam session?
No, the most we've seen is this one girl who isn't even part of the band yet. She just kind of showed up to practice and was I'll join you. Just walks into this coffee shop and just plugs in her guitar and just jams out with his electric guitar solo and then just walks away.
So you're telling me this band anime has less band playing than a show like Angel Beats?
Yes.
That's not even
so
a band
far.
anime.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Actually, watching this reminded me of Angel Beats because I was man, Angel Beats is so funny. So I ended up watching the first 2 episodes of Angel Beats.
Make yourself feel better.
It was great. It was this show is so good. Now back to BanG Dream.
I'm just picturing Weez on his couch I'm depressed. Watches Angel Beats. I feel better now. Back to
BanG Dream.
Back to BanG Dream depression.
I don't know. It's probably not fun to watch by yourself, but if you watch it with someone and make fun of it, it's a great show.
Yeah, there's a couple anime that are like that. That's probably why I haven't finished several anime on my list.
Yeah. Anyways, that's all I got.
That's all you got for anime? Know what that means?
Nerd dump.
Nerd dump. So, guess what we did this weekend?
What did we do?
Not you. You didn't do it.
I drove for 6 hours in a minivan.
Yeah, you did, and you ruined my behind. That can be taken out of context.
Yeah. I wrecked more over the weekend than prison does in years.
I made that comment in the van. I hope your shocks aren't ruined.
I don't know. Apparently the squeaking, we're getting way off. The squeaking was already there. My dad just failed to tell me.
Okay. Anyways, we traveled 6 hours round trip to go to a Renaissance fair.
Nice.
And it was glorious.
Yes.
And I got sunburnt.
I kind of wanted to just live there. I realized today, I seen it.
You could have ran off into the swamp and then just been
hung out with
Shrek.
I could have just hung out with the Vikings.
Yeah.
You guys are like, it's time to go home. Me pop out Viking beard. No.
9 or not 9 is nay. But no, it was fun. What is one of your favorite? Well, so first of all, what is a Renaissance fair?
Yeah, it's just
a Renaissance fair. Well, this Renaissance fair, I don't know about other ones. I was really nervous that this was going to be a bunch of history nerds. What this was like every D&D player that's not weird and creepy. I can say that because I'm a DM. showed up in cosplay and just relaxed and just had a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it's just medieval and fantasy stuff.
The most concerning thing is I thought a lot of people had a disease because they were glowing.
Yeah, okay. Weird side tangent. There was somebody that was just randomly selling for like $15
a dusting. $15 a dusting. A bus dusting. So here I am sitting in the food court and I lean over to Ramen Cat. I'm just like, why are all these women's boobs glowing?
That's not the only thing though. I seen children glowing.
I noticed that afterwards. I got even more concerned afterwards because I looked around. There's just a child running around, their arms, their faces just glowing. I'm just like, is there radiation? Like,
I feel like the original Renaissance fair was something completely different than it is now.
Yeah,
I feel like it started out let's enjoy this historical time frame, and then all the nerds got in there and was like, oh boy.
I mean, it was like a Comic-Con, but no one was depressed or socially awkward. Everyone was smiling. Everyone was and I like Comic-Con, but everyone was happy. Everyone was smiling. Nice. It just was great. Except for the drunk lady that got thrown out. She wasn't so great.
I bet Comic-Con would be a lot more fun if it was outside.
Oh, that was the other thing. Fresh air.
That's probably what would make people happier. It'd be less crowded too.
Yeah. But no, it was a lot of fun. I got to see a guy walk up a ladder of swords and jump on glass, and
that's cool.
Still can't figure that one trick out. I can figure out all the other tricks he did, like the laying on the board of nails. That was like easy to explain, but like jumping on the glass, I'm not too sure about.
How about putting a nail up your nose?
That one, okay, that wasn't a nail. That was a ice pick.
Okay, ice pick, because some people have literally a hole ported up their sinuses just for that trick.
Oh dear God, no! I don't know.
I like the 6 foot man eating chicken.
That was great, but no, we watched a really cool sideshow. It's like
got to see jousting.
Jousting.
Although me and Boom's brother were really disappointed. Like they're going through and they had these show jousts that would like snap off at the ends and they hit, and it's like the final ones were hard oak ones. They're like, oh, they're gonna do it, and then it ended. I'm like, oh.
I almost walked away at the beginning because they were just jousting those little rings on the hooks.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh, they're just doing that. They don't want to hurt each other. And then they grabbed the ones that at least broke off. Yeah. Like, oh, heck yeah.
See, I think the reason they didn't do that is because there are actually still professional jousters.
There are
people that will full on, this lance will explode upon contact.
Yes, but they don't want to do that there because people will probably die.
Probably, but it's a Renaissance fair.
Yeah, but also if you think about it, that small a field with those oak things exploding, somebody was going to get hit.
I think honestly, my favorite thing, I don't know if you've seen them or not, my favorite costume in the whole place was there was a fae that she was like autumn themed. But she had like these weird scale skin patterns.
I think I remember her. She looked pretty cool.
Yeah, that was like one of my favorite. Like that, like all of like the fairies and fae and stuff had the best costumes.
Man, the Renaissance was wild.
Yeah, it was. Oh, there was giant freaking turkey. Like my quest from the moment I got in there was to find a turkey leg, and I'll be darned if it didn't take me 8 hours to get that turkey leg.
Yeah,
because first. My little side story here of side story to side story is lunchtime rolls around. I'm like, oh boy, I want a turkey leg. Wait in line for the turkey leg.
They waited in line about 20 minutes.
Yeah, waited in line 20 minutes. And then got 5 feet to the turkey stand. And they're like, we're out of turkey. So I'm like, well, I'll go get a bread bowl then. I get a bread bowl, and then one of our friends is like, hey, I found another turkey stand. So I'm just eating in rage.
Basically the Renaissance fair takes place in a village.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's pre-built, and they just set up shop, and they have like food stands. There's 4 food stands set up around this area. And what they were doing is they would shut a food stand down to clear out that area, and they'd open it up somewhere else. So because people would congregate where the food and water was, so they
needed them out of that area.
They also needed them out of different areas. So like they'd shut it down. Other people would go other places and stuff like that. They'd also have food open for certain events.
Yeah.
So like the jousting started, and they had those food bays open. So it was kind of cool seeing the logistics of it. I kind of got.
Did they all have underground tunnels so they just like popped?
No, but like the circle, all the food, all the food courts were kind of like connected, so you could like walk around fences and stuff. But it was really fun. I got the axe throw. That was fun.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, I didn't actually hit anything because it was just normal hatchet.
Yeah, I was looking at those like, these are not meant for throwing. I could get it to stick, but these are not meant for throwing.
Yeah, if I had more shots than just 5, I could have got the stick. Like the 5th one, I almost had to stick because I almost had it down, and then I just didn't.
But then he jumped out of the way.
Yeah, he jumped out of the way.
What a loser.
The other thing, I had no intentions. I was forced to be an elf.
What the heck?
So
yeah, we had a little elf family thing.
Yeah,
Nice.
my girlfriend was like, her costume was, she was like a elf or like a druid, and then she just like pulls out the second pair of ears. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with these? And she's just
She's like, as an elf, I will not marry a filthy human.
I don't want to wear ears. And she just gave me that look like, I don't have a choice in this, do I?
Hey, my sister also wore.
Your sister also wore elf ears, so yeah.
Yeah. So you guys were all just like a group.
Huh.
Besides for that was the Renaissance Fair.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
Next time I go, I'm never coming back home.
Nice.
Because I seen online today something that they're going to have next weekend, and I was sad because I can't go and I don't live close enough.
That means I get to drive next year. I'm happy. So I had to sit in the back.
You didn't have to. I wanted you to sit up front with me.
I did too. That's a conversation. That's a conversation for after the podcast.
Okay,
I want to talk about that after the podcast.
Let's put it this way. I hate driving freeways. Like, I don't have a lot of experience. I've driven now for a very long time, but I avoid freeways like the plague. So put me in a van that I already don't have experience with. And then suddenly everyone just decides to tell me, like, about what? 4 out of the 6 people are like, yeah, we all get motion sick really easily. So here I am driving, like, I have a bomb cargo load with me.
Yeah, I was the only one that does get motion sick, but I was the only one out of them that got motion sick, but don't get like actually sick. So like I was the only one functioning in the car, except for our other friend, and he just stared at his phone the whole time.
Yeah. And then your brother just made awkward sounds in the back.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. Anyways,
the Ren Fair was awesome. I was kind of sad though when I realized when I got home I didn't buy anything other than a flask.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
expensive. It's a lot more expensive than Comic-Con, because like Comic-Con you can find like dice and like small games, and trinkets and stuff like that, and you can kind of
all of this stuff is all craftsmanship.
It is all craftsmanship stuff, but none of it was below $50.
Yeah. Yep.
I found a stone coaster that's like mass manufactured for $6.
Yeah.
That's the cheapest thing I could find.
I've seen those.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun though. It's definitely worth going to.
Yeah.
Nice.
We're gonna drag you there next year.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we're renting in a bigger van.
You can be Frodo.
Or I'm driving separate. Hey, we should all be the Hobbit, the Fellowship.
I could be. Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
There, that all.
The Renaissance Fair was a great experience. We're gonna throw you at it next year.
Cool.
Let's move on.
I'll dress up as Thorfinn.
That'd be cool.
It'd be Vikings.
Our tall friend. He could be Thorkill.
Yeah.
I mean, his plan is to just keep adding to his Viking cosplay.
Well, he is already a Viking.
Yeah, so the cosplays that everyone did, your brother was basically just the dude.
The dude. He was like the DM.
Our tall friend was a Viking, and his girlfriend, I'm just gonna say, I guess she was a Viking lady.
She was,
I don't know, villager.
going as a Viking lady, but basically it's just like medieval.
Yeah.
Clothing.
I made you basically a rogue.
Yeah.
And you fit the bill. You were just sitting on a fence, just eating food. And I was like, he looks like he needs a job. And I seen these two people. These two looked like they were dressed like dark elves or something. Just turned and looked at him like they were going to be like, hey, you look like you need a job.
I was going to get quests, and then I figured out I had to pay for the quests. And I was like, I did not come here to pay for quests. I came here to get paid for doing quests.
Maybe we can give people free quests.
That would be fun.
I
did find out at the end that you could like throw people in prison, and then they'd have to do a humiliation dance. And I wish I would have saved my money because I would have thrown our tall friend in there.
Your sister was an elf.
Yep.
Um.
Your girlfriend was an elf.
Yep.
You were an elf.
Yep.
Druid.
No, I
like,
was
a monk.
Like a mage.
A mage. She was like a druid.
Yeah, she was a druid.
Like,
I was a mage.
The vines and stuff.
Yeah.
She had a thorn crown. Here's a side note. She had a thorn crown, and she was sitting next to me in the van, and she fell asleep on my shoulder. But mind you, I'm wearing a rogue costume, so I have no sleeves. And my arm hurts from the thorns.
I think that was everyone, right?
Next.
I did discover Thai bubbly tea is really good.
Thai what tea?
When we stopped at that last gas station when I got all mixed up on the road.
Yeah.
Doing like the spinning out and stuff.
Yeah.
And I seen Thai bubbly tea, and I wanted something kind of creamy, so I got that. It was really, really good.
Nice.
Considering most canned bubbly tea or bubbly tea or
Booba
tea or whatever it is.
Boba,
yeah.
Okay, because you're saying boobly, and I'm just like, what the hell is boobly?
That's the seltzer stuff.
Yeah, that's booble, by the way.
Booba, whatever.
Stop getting us demonetized. We're not even monetized yet.
It's really good if it's like the Thai version. Because I've had other versions and they just taste like nasty black.
So like the
licorice.
black tea then?
No, it's like a coffee cream mix with tapioca balls in it.
Oh yeah, that stuff is good.
Next year you should get an armor set and walk up and be like, you cannot pass my chest high wall.
And then a horse just jumps over. Oh no, he passed the chest high wall.
Next year I want to actually add on to my costume a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, it was all kinds of costumes. I seen a Mandalorian. I seen a Phyrexian.
The cool thing was, the Phyrexian kind of fit.
I seen the lead singer for Ghost.
Okay, it was Vorin Klex, by the way. The Phyrexian.
I think I saw that picture.
Yeah, you did.
And I was like, what?
It fits because he is on Keldheim, which was the medieval.
He was hanging out by the Vikings.
Yeah. And then like the Mandalorian, he was a medieval Mandalorian because he had medieval armor on. He didn't have like regular Mandalorian armor on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was all medieval.
Oh.
He had like a shield. He had a sword. His visor was more like actual like helmet instead of like Mando helm.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'd seen a couple anime characters.
Oh yeah, I saw them as well. I saw a couple of furries. I saw 2 full-on furries at the end of the convention, and I'm still wondering how they survived because it was literally like 80 degrees and humid out.
Fans inside those things.
I don't know.
I don't know. My girlfriend pointed out to me a weird amalgamation that was like a dump pile of furry costumes as they're like trying to swap parts back and forth.
Oh,
like, what is going on here?
That's weird.
Let's see. What else did I see? I don't know. There was all kinds of costumes.
Yeah.
Some really, really, really good ones. A lot of steampunk stuff too, which kind of makes me want to dig out my steampunk stuff and just do that.
It was cool too because like even a lot of the anime costumes, they were like medieval or like fantasy themed.
Mm-hmm.
There was like Blair the Witch from Soul Eater, but it was like actually like more witchy instead of like anime.
That's
which was cool. There was what's his Kirito. But he was like medieval Kirito instead of just like sword art Kirito.
The only thing that didn't make any sense was the couple cosplaying Miraculous Ladybug.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Huh.
It was so confusing.
Very medieval.
Yeah. The only thing I was sad about is I was going to get a mage hat. Until I seen it was $200.
Oh yeah, last story.
Okay.
And it was kind of terrifying for me because I don't like awkward social encounters.
Mm-hmm.
But we went into this leather equipment store. They had like trench coats, armor, hats, and stuff. That was the same place you found your hat, I think. They had bracers and stuff, and I love trench coats.
Yeah,
I like the World War II or like old style trench coats. And they had a green one that was like kind of scaled and stuff, and I was like, that looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
The person's like, oh, you can try it on, and I was like, I usually don't like trying on things because then they expect you to buy it.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay, I'll try it on. She buckles it up, which it's buckles and locks. So I'm locked in this trench coat. She has a mirror in front of me, and she's like, so how do you like it? I look at the tag. And it was $650. Yeah. I'm just like, this is great. How do I get it off? She was just staring at me. I'm just like, I'm not going to buy this thing. I don't want to buy this thing. And of course, like all awkward situations I've encountered, I look for my friends for help and they all walked away.
No, I was there.
Where are you? Because I did not see you.
No, I was there. And then I got swept up in the crowd that came through.
It was under the trench coat.
Right as you walked out, there was just a wave of people. I was like, no.
But that was like awkward because I'm just like, because I could not get out of this trench coat by myself. And she was just standing there, like expecting me to say, I'll buy it. And I'm just like, I'm not buying it.
That's when you like look back and forth and just take off running.
I was close enough to the gate. I probably could have made it. I'll just wait in the car for you, the rest of everybody.
So anyways, on to the next nerd dump thing. I have something big to talk about.
But you're not a nerd.
And this is
Is this Ahsoka?
This is Ahsoka.
Hey, Ahsoka.
It's Soka. It's the Soka show. Have you seen any of it?
No.
Okay.
I was going to watch the first episode, and then after the Renaissance Fair, in buying Armor Core 6, which I'm going to talk about next.
We talked about it last time we did this. We talked about the trailer.
Talked about the trailer.
Because it hadn't come out yet.
And we kind of said what we're thinking is going to be like.
This show is basically exactly what I expected, and I like it.
That's good.
The villains are really cool so far. Like they seem to be like Dark Jedi. Like they kill people, they have their own goal. They're trying to get Thrawn back. That's like the main plot of the show.
Okay.
I have some worries for it, but so far I've really enjoyed it. People have complained that it's boring. Partially it's getting everyone up to speed with Rebel stuff. And also, if you haven't seen Rebels, I feel like this show is really confusing or kind of like out of nowhere because Sabine is one of the main characters.
Yeah.
And apparently Ahsoka took Sabine on as like an apprentice for a while.
That's what I figured.
Didn't work out, and so they kind of separated. And now they have to come back together because Ahsoka found a thing. There was that Mando episode where Ahsoka was looking for Thrawn, and she like fought that one lady. After that, she found this map, which opens up and it shows where Thrawn is in a different galaxy.
Whoa. So
the goal is to find Thrawn before the other people find Thrawn, because if they find Thrawn, they might bring back the Empire and stuff, because Thrawn is such a threat. They even say that the words heir to the Empire in the thing.
Oh, they said the name! They said the name!
So partially it's like, okay, here's Ahsoka, who's already kind of a wild character. It's like she was Anakin's apprentice. She left
shoehorned apprentice.
She left the Jedi Order. So she's not really a Jedi, but she's still like a Force wielder and all this stuff. And then she has this apprentice who is a Mandalorian, and like all these things, like it keeps explaining throughout the series that it's like, this makes so little sense to some. It just seems like the most bizarre concepts.
My question is this: if Thrawn's in a whole nother galaxy, how and why would he want to come back when he has a whole nother galaxy of his own to conquer?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Galaxy or system?
Galaxy, like out of this galaxy into another galaxy. So it's kind of,
so he's currently on Earth.
So far, there's some things I really like about the show. 3 episodes in, we have not seen Thrawn at all.
Sick.
So it is building up to finding him instead of just, oh no, we found him, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
I know Dave Filoni's storytelling style from watching Rebels, and it's just like this. It kind of builds up slowly with things that don't seem that connected.
Yeah.
And then it kind of like builds up into these crazy moments that are going to be awesome. The thing I'm worried about is that it's only 8 episodes. 3 episodes in, and not a ton has happened.
They have 3 episodes?
They have 3 episodes. They've released the first 2 in 1 week, and then the next episode the next
That's
week.
right, because they do that weird thing. They give you like a steep slope to slide into it.
Yeah.
And then you really want to watch the next episode.
There's some New Republic stuff where they're like, so Hera Syndulla is a big part of it, and she's like a New Republic general.
Yeah.
That you see the politics of the New Republic, which I absolutely hate. The politics of the New Republic because it's so boring.
Because they make it out to be basically the same old politics of the
It's
old
like,
Republic.
It's worse than the original Republic because the original Republic there was some tension and you could kind of understand like what they were going with. This is like you just beat the Empire and you're already acting like this.
Yeah.
These people suck.
It's crazy how bad the political system they're making for the New Republic.
It's like it's so bad that it's kind of laughable. Like it's not.
I
it's
think
not
they're
even
trying to
interesting.
do that because in was it 10? Is it 10 or 20 years that Force Awakens happened?
It's
10, right?
I don't know.
No, it has to.
It's
has
a
to be
while.
20.
I
It
feel
has
like
to be
it's a
20
while
because Ben Solo's at least 20,
Yeah.
if not older.
So
It's about 20 to 30 years.
Yeah, it's something.
But
like
I
that.
think they're trying to they're trying to speed up, trying to say that the New Republic was bad, which is why the New Order
came in. Yeah, which makes sense, but it does seem too much. In this one, there is a part that makes sense because Hera is like, we need ships to go find Thrawn because he's probably going to be a threat. And they're like, we need resources to take care of the people, not some battle that's, he got sent off in the middle of nowhere in space whales. What do you think's going to happen? So it kind of makes sense that they didn't go with them. But also like the senators weren't even part of the rebellion. Like one senator didn't even fight. He just showed up and became a senator. It's like, how does this happen?
Well, that's because if you followed anything like the old stories, the New Republic, each sector and each planet held their election after the Empire fall, and that's what formed the new
It seems like that is what happened.
So you would think
it's not
Han
the
Solo
rebels
and
took
Leia
over.
and stuff would be ruling class, but no, they just basically are.
It's not the rebels took over, it's the New Republic became a new established government.
Yeah.
So whatever. Anyways, they suck, and
they do.
And so Hera tries to get support and they won't give it to her. So Sabine and Ahsoka travel to find or looking for them. And then there's a lot of it. So far the first 2 episodes are mostly Sabine and Sabine and Ahsoka's relationship and them getting back together and planning out the map. And the acting, it's weird because going from animation to live action for these characters.
Yeah.
Because their designs are kind of weird because Hera still wears that weird jumpsuit and it just looks kind of awkward.
Really big jumpsuit,
with the orange and stuff.
Yeah,
and so it's a little bit awkward because it doesn't quite fit the style. One thing that's different is Hera's voice in Rebels is so recognizable.
Yeah,
she has such a unique way of speaking and everything, and that's impossible to emulate because that voice actress just has really specific way. Every time I hear her in anything, I'm like, oh, it's her. But so they kind of copy her personality a little bit, but it's you can't copy the other one without it feeling bad. And it's also it's different. It's sometimes hard to make the characters together.
Right.
I think Sabine is pretty good. She has a lot of her mannerisms and stuff. She's a little more annoying in this, I guess, than in the show. She's more I don't know. There's just a bunch of conflict with Ahsoka and Sabine. That's kind of weird. But
well, it's weird too because this is 4 years after Rebels or 2 years.
Yeah, so it's 4.
Because the original trilogy didn't take that long. I think it took 3 or 4 years.
Just a few years.
Yeah.
So anyways, I really enjoy it. I'm glad that they haven't shown Thrawn right away. The build up to him is really cool. People have complained that it's boring, but I think it's pretty interesting and setting things up pretty well. The lightsaber fights I've liked. A lot of the recent stuff, the fights and stuff have been kind of dull.
Right.
But it's still not like incredible, but it feels like Ahsoka is fighting. Like the way she fights, the crazy like things that she's doing.
That seems kind of crazy because the Ahsoka I know they calmed down her fighting style a lot in Rebels, but from like Clone Wars and stuff, she was like acrobatic. Heck. Like just constantly somersaults.
And going crazy. And so she's not like quite that, but she does fight more like you see her jump super far and kind of like do flips and different things, and the fighting is pretty cool. A lot of the fights have been like, I have this giant baseball bat lightsaber and I'm gonna fling it around and the other person flings it around, like, and some of it's partially like it's Mando fighting with a darksaber and he doesn't know how to fight with a darksaber, so he's just like
fighting and they're
janky.
Not that good of lightsabers either.
And so this one's cool because the one guy is like a dark Jedi with like an orange lightsaber. He has an apprentice. I don't know what their deal is, but they're looking for Thrawn. And there's also a scene where they're like, Ahsoka's coming here. And Ahsoka also feels like a threat to the bad guys, where they're just like, Ahsoka might be coming here. And they're like, frick. And then she's like, if you like, you'll have to kill her. And the main bad guy is the guy that's like the master of the apprentice that serves the other lady, is like, it would be a shame to kill her. There's so few Jedi left.
Right.
So it's kind of like he's not just pure evil, I want to kill everyone. It's just like he has a goal. So I'm not sure what their deal is completely, but they are interesting.
That is interesting. I like that idea. I definitely want to watch the series.
I like it so far. I like it. I think it might be my favorite live action series if it keeps being like this.
It was, from what I could tell, it looks like it's actually having quality put into it.
Yeah.
Instead of let's make something nostalgic so that way people will want to watch it. It gives me very much season 1 of Mandalorian vibe.
Yeah. If you like Dave Filoni's stuff, you'll like this show because it feels like a Dave Filoni show, which is tons of connections and stuff to Star Wars, but also its own story that has a specific like place it's going.
Right. And that's what Star Wars needs.
And that's what's cool. It feels like Star Wars, whereas like Andor was good, but it doesn't really feel like Star Wars. This has lightsaber battles. It has like wild force things.
So something like Andor being, this is a cool political intrigue sci-fi show.
But
it's Star Wars.
In the universe of Star Wars. Yeah. This is a Star Wars thing. Mm-hmm. It feels like a sequel between episode 6 and like
that's cool.
episode 7. I really like it. It's also so heavily tied into Rebels, though, that I feel like I don't know if people will like it if you haven't seen Rebels.
I like Rebels. I did not like the start of Rebels, but of course, I didn't really like the start of Clone Wars either.
If you rewatch the start of Rebels, you can appreciate it more because you can see there's even hints to like what the Emperor wants to do with the Lothal, where they're like, they mention the Emperor's really interested in this planet. There's little things like that. It's like, oh, I can appreciate the things, even though Ezra being a brat in the first season is annoying.
Ezra and Sabine just arguing like children.
Yeah. And then the later seasons, and then Kanan is such a good character, though. He's like one of the best characters in Star Wars.
Kanan is probably one of my favorite like Jedi type characters.
Yeah.
Such a shame that he had to die to make that story so good.
Yeah. I know, it's like such a good scene. He's such a good character. But then it's like, if there's one character I want to see from Rebels to live action, it would be Kanan because he's so cool.
That would be amazing. I would love it'd be hard to do, but like a Kanan like series.
Yeah.
Even if it was just like a short animated series.
That would be cool.
That'd be fun.
They also have they have Ezra in it in a hologram that Sabine looks at. Sabine has like obsession with finding Ezra kind of thing going on. And so she like looks at the hologram, and the guy who plays Ezra is so perfect. Ezra talks so awkwardly, and he has that down perfect. He's got like his really awkward like stiff way he like talks and stands there, and it's like, oh, this is perfect.
Yeah, I saw the guy that they had playing him. Like, of course, he's just in hologram right now. I would not be surprised that when they finally get to Thrawn, that like he's there as well.
Yeah,
a little bit older type of thing. So
yeah, that's also a big part of this series, is like how much of this is to stop Thrawn or just try to find Ezra because he might still be alive or whatever.
What if this is how they somehow shoehorn in the what's the one?
Jensen Vong?
Yeah,
they actually
they're in that galaxy.
They kind of have a replacement for them already. There's like another race that's similar that's fighting with the Chiss in some of the books. Some of the new Zon books.
Oh yeah, I need to rewatch. I need to
watch.
Like,
yeah, I don't know. I think it's the older timeline. Isn't there also just like a massive army of like droids that are just on their own?
It might be. I don't know.
There was
the Gemini Legion or whatever it is.
That was a storyline. They all got destroyed.
Yeah, because I was listening to a thing one time, like some weird thing of like first they were like a big threat, then they got knocked back, then someone recruited them.
The thing that works about Star Wars having a million stories in it is it's just so vast.
Right.
So you can always just have, I think,
giant scale threat, but it's getting stopped over here.
I think it's lame to do super weapon every time like that. That's a lame
Well, the cool thing
idea.
Is, at least with the older stories, is, and I love what they were doing right before Disney bought them, is you had such a compact spot of beyond episode 6 to like just before episode 4.
Yeah.
That was just mashed full of stuff. You couldn't fit anything in there. We already had 3 different ways that the Death Star plans.
Yeah.
But then they were going to like the Old Republic. And you'd have like Darth Revan, which was like 10,000 BBY.
Yeah.
And then you have Plagueis, which was like 100 BBY. They had such a wide time span that they could actually fit stories in there.
Yeah.
And I kind of wish the new Star Wars stuff would start doing that instead of like focusing on the Empire and these few characters that we know.
Yeah.
Why don't we go in the past? Or hey, why don't we go in the future or something like that?
And I think that's what they're starting to do because people are just kind of getting bored of it too. Yeah. Like it's just kind of uninteresting when everything happens in the same time period when you have such
like
vast.
How many stormtroopers do you have to see run around a corner, get shot, and die?
Yeah.
Well, and in the same tiny little section.
And I think part of
it's all outer rim. It's all that like outer rim area around Tatooine.
Part of this, and I think it's like the death of creativity in general of like Marvel and a lot of some of the Star Wars stuff, like especially Boba Fett and the new movies, except for like Rogue One and stuff, is they're too worried about making money off of it, so it has to look Star Warsy enough that that it's easily recognizable. That's why
the whole origin of Star Wars is we're going to pump all this money into this thing, even though sci-fi movies are not popular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's like the original thing that made it do well. And so then they just kind of copied it and did the First Order and Stormtroopers and Rebels again because it looks it's recognizable. And then they do, like, if you do a big video game, that's why Knights of the Old Republic is such a cool game because there wasn't much about that.
No.
It's not like there were movies or anything. And they went and made this massive game. Like for the time, it's like a big AAA, game about this time and flesh out this whole world. And
the only things that let you know it was Star Wars is they had Sith.
Yeah.
They did have Jedi. They had lightsabers and blasters.
But everything's original. There's no Darth Vader or anything. Like, I like the Star Wars Jedi games, but it still just takes place during the Empire, just like everything else does. So and then they're doing more stuff like Mando is like setting up like right after episode 6 and Ahsoka and stuff. And that's an interesting, kind of thing to look at too. Especially in the outer rim where things are more lawless now because the Empire's gone. The New Republic hasn't really like
hear me
taken
out.
Place.
And they would never do this because it's too much of a risk. How about just following a random ragtag band of either smugglers or just people that explore, not having a giant overarching story and everything is just episodic, aside from major events. And it's like, you could run that puppy forever.
That would be cool. That's like, the Acolyte sounds really cool because it's not set in this time period. It's set Old Republic, like not super old Republic, High Republic era, which is kind of like before episode 1. And it's like about Sith during that time. It's like a group of like dark side. So they are major minority because this is the peak of the Jedi where there's like 1 million of them.
Yeah.
And then there's this one group of Sith and it's supposed to like, or just dark side users or whatever. And it's supposed to follow them. So like that sounds way more interesting than just another random, Jedi that survived Order 66 that does some things before they get killed by Darth Vader.
3.
Yeah. I think you can tell good stories in all the time frames, but
yeah,
it takes work and creativity and risk.
And we ain't got a lot.
And they don't take risks. It just costs too much money.
So, I think we're done with that one, right?
Yeah.
All right, I have one more quick one. I was going to talk about Armor Core, but I think because I have a lot to say about that one. You guys haven't played it yet, so I think I'm just going to make a separate review video of that.
That's a good idea.
But I wanted to say I did watch. We've been talking a lot about like Disney and AAA and big movie productions.
Yeah.
I watched a movie recently. I think I talked about it a little bit. No, I have not. I watched Transformers: Rise of the Beast.
Nice.
Which is the 6th Star Wars the 6th Transformer installment.
Star
kind
Wars.
of a
Star Wars installment of the Harry Potter saga.
It's kind of a reboot slash like not shoehorn, but like a reboot slash origin to like the Bayverse Transformers series.
Yeah. So you're saying it's just like the cartoons, no continuity.
Kind of, yeah. But it was really good because it actually felt like original Star Wars again. It actually felt like an actual
Transformers.
Yeah. I keep on saying Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Yes.
Remember the Zillo Beast? We brought him back and he's mechanized.
But no, I love how they actually were like, you know what? With Transformers, it just needs to be dumb, stupid, and like just fun to watch.
Yeah.
Like it just needs to be combat and fight scenes. It doesn't have to be all this BS of like trying to do an in-depth story and stuff like that. Give them a simple premise, which they did. Give them a human cast, because you always need a human cast for like Transformer stories. They did that, and then they let the Transformers fight.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. It was fun. And that was just my like short little like, I like movies again for
yeah.
And then I went to watch The Flash, and I'm just like, nope, not doing it. Nope.
There's a small flicker of hope that there'll be good movies out there, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. They can definitely make good movies. They just have to put effort. Like Andor, I think, was a really good series. Even if it's not your thing, it's a well-made series. You can look at it and be like, there was time, effort, quality writing put into it.
It's a good war drama.
But it took time. They've been working on it since Rogue One came out.
Right, yeah.
And it's got all this stuff, and it's a long series. It's 12 episodes instead of these stupid 8-episode miniseries, which I freaking hate.
I really hate the miniseries.
See, I don't understand the miniseries thing, what happened there. Actually, I do. Money.
Yeah.
But it used to be miniseries. Yeah, there'd be 8 episodes, but they were all movie length episodes. So the story could be told entirety, but you could just pick out the section you wanted to watch.
I like that they're not forced into a certain time slot, because that was always the thing with TV of like, it has to be 24 minutes, so you have to cut it down, and it can't be any longer or shorter. It has to fit in this time. But it kind of feel like it sometimes makes stories worse, because they're not limited anymore. Mm-hmm. So they just kind of like dilly-dally along or just get through stuff because they don't want to work on it as long or whatever. Like it just 8 episodes just doesn't feel like enough time. It just like cuts abruptly.
It's like they don't have enough for a full 12 episodes.
Yeah.
They feel like if they make anything shorter than an hour long, that they're not giving people content, or someone's not going to watch it.
Well, it's like this. The ending climax for season 2 and 3 of Mandalorian is so anticlimactic because it's just rushed.
Yeah. They would,
I don't know.
Especially the ending of season 2 and a lot of season 3, if it was longer.
Yeah.
They could do 8 episodes, do the next one 10 episodes, next one 4 episodes, whatever. Just if it fits the story.
Quick thing, who was it still Megatron that was the villain for this
No,
one?
Megatron hasn't gotten onto Earth yet. It was Unicron
for the Beast Wars.
Yeah,
but he wasn't the villain for the Beast Wars, was he?
It's not following Beast Wars. It's following its own thing.
Oh,
the Beast War. It has some time manipulation in it. So the Predacons and the where are they called, the Animorphs.
Yeah, because Beast Wars was like before humans, wasn't it? In the cartoons? No, in the cartoons.
Way in the future.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, so it's like it's like the evolution of Transformers. So like how people say humans are getting more robotic with like the reliance on technology. Transformers the opposite. They start going more organic.
Oh, okay.
So eventually they just transform and become like animals.
Yeah.
So basically these are giant robotic animals.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. So like you have a giant gorilla that has an axe and he just transforms into a giant gorilla. Okay, he's a robot.
I just realized I seen like a clip of that scene and it never registered in my head. Nothing changed.
Yeah, basically he's a robot that kind of looks like a gorilla and then he transforms into just a gorilla. The one that transforms the most is there's a jaguar, and it actually is like a robot, and then it turns into a jaguar.
That's great.
Yeah, but it's a really cool series. Like I really hated after. I could stand Transformers 2, Dark of the Moon, but then everything after that, or no, Transformers 2 was not Dark of the Moon. Transformers 3 is Dark of the Fallen. Revenge of the Fallen. Everything after that, I'm just like, why are you doing
it? Was just kind of boring and meh.
Yeah.
But like Transformers Rise of the Beasts, it felt different, and it felt like it was original Transformers. Like it didn't have a bunch of cursing and swearing and like somewhat underaged like girls in weird outfits like the Bayburst Transformers were doing.
Yeah.
Like it just felt like it was couple kids, a couple like adult, like a couple humans got tangled up with the Transformers, and now like since they're small, they're basically helping the Transformers.
Yeah.
Like
it wasn't like cool. Edgy characters.
No, it wasn't edgy characters. The edgiest character was the bad guy. And I forget what's his name. I think his name's Onslaught. He's basically Unicron's herald. So he would like go like fight like the strongest people.
Or is it Shockwave?
Not Shockwave, it's Onslaught.
Hey, Shockwave's a strategist.
Yeah, Onslaught. But like in this movie, his thing was he'd go for Unicron and fight like the strongest defenders of a planet that Unicron's about to eat, so like they couldn't fight back. And he'd just like take like their badges and stuff. So like he's just got like Decepticon and Autobot, like Predacon, and like just a bunch of badges, and like he could like take on Optimus Prime. In like Prime is, well, he's a Prime, which means he's like a higher class like warrior. So it's like a cool dynamic. Like he also had that where like Optimus Prime just gets like his butt beat in like the first part of the movie, and he actually has to like get better and actually like fight him at the end of it and stuff. So,
that's cool.
Yeah, it had like cool tropes that they don't do anymore because they want it to be safe.
They want it to be original by taking out everything that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and also, I don't know how I feel about this, but the after credit scene makes it seem like they're gonna team up G.I. Joe and Transformers in the same universe. So
I mean, they did do it
because the human guy, he's trying to get a job. So at the end of it, he like goes for an interview, and so all the events happen in Mexico.
Yeah,
and the guy that's interviewing him is like, "Oh yeah, so you seem pretty like qualified, but I want to know what you did in Mexico." And the guy's just like, "What do you mean what I did in Mexico?" And he's like, "Yeah, what did you do in Mexico?" And he's like, "How the hell you know about that?" And he's like, "Oh, I know a lot of things." And he just like pushes a button and a giant like secret underground elevator just opens up. I'm just like,
oh, you know,
this is totally how like Hasbro should be running their movies.
You know what they could be doing with that is, you remember in the cartoons how there was always like the high tech like was the like forts for the Autobots? That might be how they're gonna do that or something.
No, it's literally G.I. Joe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's just like, oh yeah, like you want to become part of G.I. Joe?
This is why like animation has always been just the best, because they'll do stuff like that that's just so like like random and just really bizarre, but it's just interesting because of how insane it is. And they just don't usually take those kind of risks in like big movies.
So yeah, when I was done watching my Transformer movie, and then they're like, "Yeah, the kid that helps Transformers is gonna go join GI Joe." I'm just like, "This is sick. This is like what my nerdum fantasies are. Like, I want to see live action GI Joe and Transformers." Like,
it's just having interesting stuff happen.
Yeah. Instead of like, oh, now Megatron's gonna come. Like, no, like we've already done that.
I think I've said before that actually is a nice thing that they did, because usually the problem with superhero movies and a lot of those kind of movies is the first movie they always throw arch enemy.
Yeah,
like the number one arch enemy. That's the first villain you're gonna fight.
Well, like Justice League, they fought Darkseid.
Yeah, why? He should have been like this huge build up, like.
Right.
That it shouldn't have been him. Or
like they could have done it longer, but with the Avengers they waited for Thanos to like
it would have
built him up.
The bad thing would have been is if in Avengers 2012 they fought
Thanos right away. That would have been super lame.
Yeah.
But they built him up and he was really cool. And then he came back in the second movie and he kind of sucked.
Yeah.
The first movie was really cool.
Yeah. I mean, it would have even been bad if they fought Ultron in the first Avengers movie.
Yeah.
Like, the way they did that was they set it up right. They set it up where it's like New York is going to fall, possibly the entire world, if they can't fight the Kree.
And then it's like the first villain was Loki, who's like the most, like, anyone can beat Loki now. Yeah. He's just some random side. Like,
see, I hate that they've done that, though, because, like, in the comics, Loki actually was a serious threat.
He was originally, and then everyone got more powerful, and he's not as much now. But he's now controlling time, so I guess he's kind of powerful.
That's true.
Also, I kind of just hate what they've done with him too, because it's like, oh look, he's a quote unquote bad guy, but he's not a bad guy.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, no, he always used to be a really nasty villain.
Yeah.
Now, like, an example that I don't like that they did is, like, I like the Dark Knight series, but the Joker, I mean, granted, yes, because of certain things that happened, but the Joker really should have been saved for, like, the last villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was kind of awkward that they had him.
It's arguable that Bane is almost a bigger villain to Batman than Joker is,
but the Joker is always that, like,
the Joker is the most
iconic.
popular one. He's the iconic one, but Bane has done the most damage.
Yeah, I mean, for that matter, the villain that they had in the first movie could have even been the last villain too.
And technically, in the third one, if you want to get really geek nerdum arguing into this, it was Talia al Ghul.
Yeah, was
the third villain, not Bane. Bane was literally just the pawn.
Yeah,
So technically, it went full circle in that point, because it was Ra's al Ghul in the first movie.
Yep.
And then it was Joker, and then it was Talia, which Talia has always been. Talia is a weird
high end villain.
Not really.
Or no, yeah, it's always like a weird like relation there.
Let's just say she's a very messed up character.
Yeah.
Like the things that she does to Batman.
Now, if they ever do for DC stuff, I hope they do a Batman Beyond movie.
That would be sick.
Like, that's the one time I will say CGI the crap out of this thing and make it look like futuristic.
Yeah.
Oh, that just reminded me of a random critique I have of Ahsoka. Her head tails look like styrofoam.
They probably are.
They are styrofoam.
You see like the wrinkles in them?
Yeah.
And it's like,
as a guy
feel like
who likes
a little bit of CGI isn't bad in this situation.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't look like a living part of her body. It looks like
a headdress.
Yeah. That has always been the awkward part about Twi'leks in the live action. Or Twi'leks.
She's a Togruta.
Whatever. Very similar race.
The Twi'leks don't look bad because they're all like smooth. They look like
that's true.
They flop around. But this thing is like,
I noticed that in Mandalorian too,
look.
because I was like, oh, this could be cool. I wonder how they're gonna. That looks bad.
Yeah. I don't know. Like,
it's kind of like Luke's face.
I know you don't want to CGI the crap
That's
out of
because
everything.
that's not Luke's face.
I know.
Luke
Maybe if
shouldn't
you
even-
apply Luke's face.
That's an AI plastered onto a
Everyone-
lookalike.
That's the kind of scene where it's like Luke Skywalker showed up and everyone cheered. But to me, that was like one of my least favorite parts of Mandalorian.
Oh,
Yes,
it was so
that
cringy.
sucked.
Okay, the two things in Mandalorian that I hated in season 2: Luke's face and the stupid rhythmic beating that the Dark Troopers did on the door in unison. I was like, this is stupid.
Oh, the
Yeah, but they do it in like sequence with each other.
yeah,
It's like,
because they're robots.
so what?
But they're robots.
So what? Show how freaking terrifying these things are as they're just like door, boof, done.
They couldn't.
They didn't have
Because
enough
then all the
time.
characters would die.
It was so stupid. Douche, douche, douche. Like that right there ruined Mandalorian.
They had
from
to
that
have
point
that. They
forward
had
for
to have
me.
that cool scene where they show Luke fighting, but they didn't really show Luke fighting because he really didn't do much.
It just looked,
Yeah.
It just looked.
He just threw his
It
lightsaber
would have
around.
been cool if they actually showed Luke fighting, but they showed it in weird angles, like from like cameras, and
And they
You know
had a
what?
couple of scenes where they just like flashed.
You know what I would
Yeah.
have liked? You know
That's
what they could have done? They could have done it in a good way.
music was
of
bad
this.
too.
They could have just simply done Luke goes through and fights, and then you hear his voice, and that's
Why was Luke even?
I don't
there?
know.
You know what?
How about just make a new Jedi and be like, hey, I sensed another one here. I'm gonna go help.
Just Ezra shows up.
Yeah.
I'm stealing your baby.
Or actually, they had the perfect thing. Ahsoka could have came back and just simply been like, you needed help.
Yeah. Ahsoka actually would have made sense because they set that up. They didn't set up Luke at
Yeah.
all. They never mentioned him.
Yeah.
Nobody there even knows who he is.
Yeah.
True.
He just walks in, he's like, yeah, I helped kill the Emperor.
Here, can I have your child?
Can I have your baby?
Or
You got a lightsaber? You can have my.
Heck-
It's just Cad Bane with a lightsaber, and he's like, I'm a Jedi. And they're like, okay, here's the baby. Then he goes, sells them back to the Empire. That'd be sick.
I mean, it really would have been a good spot to introduce any character but Luke.
Dude,
Yeah.
that would have been the best. Okay, then they could have even brought back Baby Yoda in in Boba Fett by having them find
Cad
out
Bane.
that Cad Bane isn't a Jedi and having to fight Cad Bane to get Baby Yoda
Actually,
back.
that would have been a good spot
That
for
would've
Baby
been
Yoda to get
freaking
taken
awesome.
away or something, or like the bad guy to get away, because then it would have been made sense for.
And then the
like,
Star Wars
Boba
fans
Fett.
would have been like, no.
You know what I think?
That'd have been sick.
I think we should probably just start a separate podcast called "I Want to Rant About Star
I want to
Wars."
we're rewriting Star Wars from the
But
beginning.
For now, I think we should end this podcast because this nerd dump has turned into I hate Star Wars dump.
I
So,
love Star Wars. I think Ahsoka's good.
good. With that, we're done.
Yay.
So if you like this podcast, if you're even still listening, this has been a while. Like, subscribe, hit that follow button.
We still
subscribe
don't have
button.
any pickles.
No, but we did get some more reviews.
Ooh.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Spotify doesn't let you write reviews. They just let you do the 5-star.
Yeah.
But we got like 6 5-star reviews.
Thanks for the
That's it.
5-star reviews.
Besides for that.
Pickles.
Okay, give Ramen Cat pickles, please. Just in the YouTube comments, post pickles.
Go to
Heck,
our
I'll
YouTube
take-
channel, Baka-Talk
I'll
Studios.
take an email of a gif of just Pickle Rick. F yeah.
All right. Yeah, send that email to askbakatalk@gmail.com.
Just let us know you're out there, that the universe isn't dead.
Comment
The
in
universe
the YouTube
is dead.
channel.
This is just your torment.
We don't do this for views or money. We do it for the love of the podcasting.
That's the only reason I do it. I don't get paid for this. All right. See you all later.
Ciao, meow.
I'm gonna go find a pillow.